Hello, friends. I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode is the 5 ways to attract your most abundant and joyful year ever. I'm super excited about this episode because it's a compilation of all of the things that I try to practice as consistently as possible throughout the year. And these are the things that I feel like are huge dial movers and creating major change and impact in my personal life. I did not incorporate any type of vision board into this podcast today, but I will tell you, I was just in my basement. I was looking at my vision board that I created for 2024. And let me tell you, I'm like super proud of myself because I manifested about 80% of that board. And some of that stuff was huge, 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 huge goals. So I'm very proud of myself about that. And the only reason it was in the basement is because my relationship ended and it's in the basement of the house I used to live in. Otherwise, I think you should have it up high, mounted beautifully so you can see every single day. And actually, I would say from doing that vision board, there's two different ways I think to do a vision board. One of them is you could just do a Pinterest board, which I do as well. And I just create like my own secret board. And you can call the Pinterest board whatever you want it to be. But like I said, make it your secret board and you can just pick different images of everything that you want for your life. And that is a little bit more of a passive vision board, in my opinion. But the board that I just said I created, that I achieved about 80% of what was on there, was right front and center, right in front of my office. I saw it every single day. I looked at it. I don't even know how hard I was looking at it, but I looked at it every single day. And for the most part, it was a fabulous year, apart from the breakup. Okay. So I will tell you, it does work. Again, that's not at all what we're going to talk about today, but I just thought I should bring that up because it is really under this topic and I think it's effective. But here we go. This is the 5 ways to attract your most abundant and joyful year ever. I believe that success is not just about money. I believe that everybody wants to find balance in their life in some way, and they're looking for joy and things that fulfill them and things that make them happy, and to not just feel like every single day they're waking up to grind for the almighty dollar. I wholeheartedly believe in working smarter, not harder. That's what my whole brand, that's what my whole life is about being more efficient and trying to get 80% of the work done in 20% of the time so that you can enjoy the other 80% of your life the way I believe life should be and what you deserve. Okay, so we are going to start off with an exercise. This first thing that we're going to do is we are going to perform a personal audit on yourself and we're going to create a plan for 2025. We're going to look at what worked. We're going to look at what didn't work. And the first thing that you're going to do is take out your phone and look at all the different images that show you what you did over the last 2024. You're going to be probably pretty surprised at all that occurred. I know I am every single year. I always think things happened years ago and they were just a couple months ago. And you're going to look at all of the different things that happened during your year. And you're going to catalog all the things that you would consider to be the major events in 2024. That's going to be your list number one. List number two is going to be a list of all the ways that you've grown in 2024. It could be personally, it could be business, it could be the ways that you hit your goals, it could be the way that you showed up for yourself, it could be the way that you showed up for your kids, it could be a goal that you hit. All of the different ways that you've grown. We're thinking positive, elevated mindset, all the ways that you grew in 2024. The third list that you're going to write down is, what am I leaving behind in 2024? What are you leaving behind? Are you going to leave behind toxic relationships? Are you going to leave behind working until 9 o'clock at night? Are you going to leave behind being on your phone until 10:30 at night? Are you going to leave behind maybe being lazy and not getting to it, not focusing enough? What are you going to leave behind? Everybody's list is so personal and unique to themselves. This is all about you. No one's checking your work. No one's looking at your work. So really, really get real with yourself. What do you want to let go of? And then the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to write down what you're calling in for 2025? What do you want to attract into your life? Do you want to attract more clients, more quality relationships? I'm sure everybody wants to attract more money, but like how? Do you want to attract more efficiency? Do you want to attract more fun? Do you want to attract more um, financial independence? I mean, the list goes on and on. What are you wanting to bring in to 2025? What are you calling it? Now, one thing I will say is sometimes I do a list for this. I'll do a personal life audit and then I'll do a professional life audit, but you can do whatever you want. You can compile them into one is absolutely fine as well. And then for fun, if you want to do this as well, I actually got this exercise from my therapist years ago, and I look forward to doing this exercise every single year so much. And I really love looking at what I was trying to call in and what I was trying to eliminate at the end of the year and see how well I did. So I will tell you, I was going to say for more fun, if you want to give yourself a chapter title, like what would you name the title of the chapter that would encapsulate your year for 2024? And what are you going to name 2025? And last year I said 2024, meaning this year, my title was going to be Holy Shit, I Did That. And you know what's funny? It did not work for what I wanted to do, but it worked for launching this real estate coaching business. So I'm very excited about that part. I think I did really well personally on what I was calling in for this year. I think I hit it out of the park in about 90% of it. I think I got like I'd say I got like a C minus in what I'm leaving behind in 2023. I think that was a much shorter list too. And I will tell you, I did not do as well on that. I think I give myself like a 50%, probably worse than a C. So it's okay. It's okay. We need to know where we are to know where we're going. So that's step number one, is completing this personal audit on yourself so that you know what exactly you're trying to attract into the new year. The second thing I will say is sometimes I laugh at myself that I'm still reading this book because I've been in the business for 19 years. But my absolute favorite book for real estate, for like just supercharging my ass, just get going, is The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. It's so freaking good. It's so good. It's so good. And I listen to everything on Audible. You can read it, listen to it on Audible, but it just it's so relatable because there's not only a story with it, but then there's also the homework to do. And basically, it's just new ways to live your life in order to attract more success in your life, happiness and joy. It's just it's an incredible book. I highly recommend you checking it out. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But what you're going to learn in this book is they want real estate agents to subscribe to a acronym of practices to do every single morning before you start your day. And it's called the SAVERS process. It's SAVERS. I'm going to try to remember this here, but basically it encourages you to number one is silence. You start each day with 5 or 10 minutes of silence. And especially if you have kids, it's fantastic. You just take a moment to just quiet your mind and quiet your brain before you get into the chaos of what will ultimately most likely be your day. You start with 5 to 10 minutes of silence. The A is for affirmations. If you've been on my Instagram or my TikTok, I'm a huge proponent of saying daily affirmations every single day to kind of uplift you and get you in the right mindset. I say things like money comes to me easily and effortlessly. What I want is already on the way. I'm going to manifest everything, or I'm going to get everything that I manifested by the end of the year. And you just say these things over and over. I am a great salesperson. I love objections. Objections make me a stronger agent. I love to get up every single day. I love what I do. I love my life. Saying these types of positive things over and over and over in your life, it's incredible what an impact it does, how you begin your day in this positive, energetic mindset. So I'm a big believer in that without even reading the book. So that's number two. That's A, right, in the savers. V is for visualizing. This is where I did the Pinterest method, where I created the secret board. Every day I would put in maybe one or two more images of things that I want in my life. And they could be, some hot car that I want. It could be a fabulous vacation. It could be an image of two teen girls coming down the stairs of this fabulously huge house, things that I want to bring to my daughters in my life. It could be a private school, whatever. It could be anything. So I would add a couple images and then I would also just review all of the different images that I've already added. And it really, really gets you going. It's kind of like the power of The Secret. If you ever watch The Secret, it's just visualizing, visualizing, visualizing. You suddenly believe, like, of course it's going to be mine. I'm looking at this every single day. How could this not be mine? So that's the V. The next one is E, and that's for exercise. Pretty self-explanatory, but just even getting yourself out there for 5 or 10 minute, brisk walk or jog or jumping jacks or some kind of physical movement to get you going, maybe lifting fast weights. And the reason I say 5 or 10 minutes is because when you start to do all of these steps, it ends up taking a lot of time. And so sometimes you kind of got to just condense it because you're just trying to get your jump start for the morning so you feel great. But if you've got time to go longer, definitely go take a class or go for a run or a hike or whatever. Maybe not a hike. That might be a little bit too much for a Monday morning when you got stuff to do, but you know what I'm saying. So the E is for exercise. The R is for reading. I totally believe in this one as well. So that's when you could be reading your Miracle Morning. And reading can still be an audible. You don't have to physically read it. You're just trying to infiltrate your brain, learning something new, expanding your brain, expanding your mindset, and just become a more evolved human being. I love the book Atomic Habits. I know it's a really popular one. A lot of people have already read it. It's a great one. I freaking love it. I think it's one of the best books ever. I also love The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. I think that one's amazing. I am huge on efficiency, so that one gets me going as well. And I like whoever reads that book. It's just, I don't know, it's pretty entertaining. He's kind of like this sort of cynical ass reading the book, but it's good. It's really good. So those would be my top recommendations, just sort of off the cuff. And then the last one is S, and that is for scribing. Now, scribing is basically journaling. So you could do this for a couple of different reasons. You could journal to say, this is what's going on in my life, just to get it out on paper. Transfer of information leads to a transformation. So that is one purpose of journaling. The other purpose of it is you could also use it to jot down what you're grateful for. That's another great practice. 3 things that you're grateful for every single day. They could be small, big, it could be anything. So that is the Savers process. And all of that is within the Miracle Morning book. I just really believe in it. And I've just had such huge success. Like after I read this book, sometimes you get in a rut. You just do. And so I would read that book. And every time I'd start reading it, I was so charged and just ready to conquer the world. My business partner was like, "What are you doing? God, you are so, your energy is infectious. What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm reading that book again." And like, "Oh my God, we got to read it. We got to read it." It's good. It's really good. I highly recommend it. That's all I can say. So I would definitely go ahead and download that book or get it on Kindle or buy it. Like I said, I'll put a link for it on my show notes. But definitely check it out. Sooner the better. Starting off your new year, why not put yourself in the best possible mindset? All right, so you can see we're sort of building out our mornings. Now we're going to build out our week, which is the third topic we're going to talk about. And I would say creating your best week ever or creating your ideal week. This came to me because I always struggle with balance. Being a single mother with 2 girls, it's just always a challenge having a job as in real estate where we are expected to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and everything overlaps. I was at a point in my life and I felt like I am failing everybody. I would try to catch up on work and then my kids wouldn't see me as much. I wouldn't be able to spend time with my girlfriends. And then I had girlfriends feeling very, ignored, which I just think you need to surround yourself with people who can kind of take care of themselves. But, I was just getting it from all angles. And I needed basically a life coach to tell me how the hell I was going to balance it all. I felt like I just couldn't get it all done. I was either all work or I would try to make up for that and I would go all mom. And then my work would be suffering. And then my friendships would be suffering. My boss would be frustrated because I didn't have as much time to dedicate there. And I just remember being in a place where I was just like, I feel like I'm failing somebody every single day. Every single day, someone was complaining to me that I wasn't doing enough. I could like cry, honestly, thinking about this time in my life. So I just realized I need to start taking care of myself. I needed things like self care buckets into my week. I needed obviously time for my work, but I also had to do time for things that brought me joy, time for my kids, time for my friendships, and just all the things that made me feel good inside, exercise, all of that. So I started building out my weeks in buckets. So I'd start off, and you could do this Sunday if you want to be really, really good and get extra credit. You could do it Sunday night so that you're all ready. I always do it on Monday morning, whatever. Everybody knows to expect text from me that I say, hey, can we please hang out this day? Okay. Or I tell this client, can we go check these out on this day? Tell this client, let's go check this out on this day. And then I really want to do these particular workouts on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. Those are my favorites. So everything comes after that. I build my miracle mornings after that. And then the rest of the day can kind of slide in wherever, but I'm going to make sure that I fill up my buckets with the things that feed me. And I highly encourage you to do that yourself. If you can't take care of the vessel that is yourself, your mind, your body, your soul, you're not going to be able to do a good job out in life. You're going to suffer in every area, most likely, because you're not taking care of yourself. And you are the most important, whatever that airplane analogy is. Put your face mask on first before you help everybody else, right? Okay. So when we are building, we're going to start building our best week ever, our ideal week. I want you to start off by choosing one business strategy. This is a business strategy that you are going to spend the bulk of your time and effort on this year to level up your income. I hate when I am being coached to do 17 different things at the same time. I'm supposed to run this, I'm supposed to run that, do this type of marketing, come back and do this and do this and do this. Your head is spinning. You're not being efficient at anything. You're operating at a 10% level, doing 90 different things when you could be operating at a 90% level, doing one thing really, really well and really effectively. So I tell people choose one thing and go super deep into it. Okay. Whatever that may be, whether it may be social media, maybe you're really, really good at converting leads on realtor.com. Maybe you're good at converting leads on RedX with expired listings. Maybe you are awesome at the referral game and getting referrals from different cities. Whatever it is, get really honed in on one specific business strategy. Make that your goal. And then if you want to attach a numbers goal to it, some sort of output goal, great. Let's get even more specific. And then think, how many hours a week do I think I should invest in this to be a major dial mover and a huge portion of all of your business this year? How many hours a week are you going to put into it? Split that up, decide how you're going to incorporate that into your best week, because this is going to be a really, really important piece of that puzzle is your income, right? Now, don't make a note of where it's going to go in the calendar. Just decide how many hours across how many days that you're going to want to do that and make a note of it. The next thing you're going to do, now we're going to use your personal audit as a reference if you need. Write a list. What are the things that you want to do in 2025 that are going to bring you joy into your life? Maybe you've gotten away from a hobby that you used to do. Maybe you did something really fun as a kid and you want to bring it back into your life. I grew up golfing. I used to love to be able to go to a driving range or out to the golf course every once in a while and just get in front of whether it be a new relationship or whatnot, and just drive that first ball and just watch their jaw drop. It was hilarious to me. I loved it. But I also loved golfing, and it brought back a lot of fun memories of being a kid. So last year I joined a women's, it wasn't a league. I didn't go that far, but I did lessons on every other Saturday morning, and it was so much fun. I met some people, and it was just the feeling of doing something for myself that was different. I just really highly, highly recommend it. I'm sure you know exactly what you would do. So I don't even need to go down a list of things that you would want to do, but write that down and then think about what would be the best time for me to do those things. It could be very specific. Maybe it's going out to dinner with your girlfriends or your guy friends. I know that for me, I absolutely have to have time with my girlfriends at least every 2 weeks, if not every week. I need to go out. I need to have a nice dinner. I need to drink some wine with them, catch up. I mean, my girlfriends are the best things on the freaking planet besides my kids. I am so beyond blessed to have these women in my life. They uplift me, they fuel me, they motivate me. They are the absolute best, and I have to have that in my life. So I treat that like a serious appointment. So that's an obvious one for me. It's either every Wednesday or Thursday because that's when I don't have my kids. That's a no-brainer for me, how that's going to fit into calendar. But anyway, just do a little research there. And again, make a little note, set it aside. Then consider, is there anything else that I want to add to my ideal week that's going to add value to my life? Now's the time to add that. Maybe you want to go to church more. Maybe you want to be more intentional about cooking for your family and not being so rush, rush, rush that you guys have that time together, before kids go off to extracurricular activities. I know that we have like 22 minutes from the time my daughter gets off the bus and then she's back out the door for dance on Mondays. I've started setting up my Monday late afternoons to make it so that I can make a really awesome meal so that we just have that 20 minutes. And it's always the best time ever. I mean, we catch up, and I think my daughter really appreciates it too. She's a teenager, so she'll never tell me, but I think she appreciates it. It's funny. It's like, waiting for the man to come home, and she comes home and there's food on the table. And I laugh sometimes that, she's my hubby that I'm waiting to come home to feed. But no, I think she appreciates it. And we all just get to spend a little time together before the craziness resumes on Monday night. So, but whatever it may be that you just want to make sure there's more of in your life, put it in the schedule. Then, when you have that all mapped out, you've got your one business strategy that you want to hone in on. You have your elements of joy. You've got your miracle morning. You decide what time that's going to start and stop. I'd give yourself 60 minutes and then map out all of those buckets. And now you've got your ideal week. So now you know all the things that really have to get done that really, really matter in your life, yours. Those will happen. And then you just have to be fiercely protective about, not letting everything become an emergency. And just because a client suggested that one time doesn't mean that they can't do it, an hour later or 3 hours earlier. Just be protective of your time. The best that you can do. I know it's real estate. I know we're expected to just have no life, but we have a life, and we're going to be miserable people if we don't take care of ourselves. So that is how you're going to build your ideal work week. Number 4, outsource everything that you can that doesn't bring you joy, doesn't make you money, and is worth paying a small fee to eliminate. I've talked about this before. There's just things that I just hate doing. I hate doing laundry. I hate it. I have 2 kids who throw in all of their clean clothes into the laundry basket, and none of it's even dirty. Every time I'm doing laundry, doing the dishes, sweeping, mopping, I think to myself, this is not my highest and best use of my time. This is not. I could be making $1 million transaction right now. I can be reaching out to high value clients right now. I could be doing something that I love, something that makes me smile. It's not worth it to me. So I went on care.com and I hired someone, and her name is Jen, and she is just incredible. She comes once or twice a week for a couple hours. She does the laundry. She tidies up the house. I leave. I go to work. I come back. My house is totally clean. She's $25 an hour. To me, it's totally freaking worth it. She freaking changes my life. And by the way, she does it a lot better than I do. I don't live to clean. It's not my thing. I don't love it. I want a clean house, but I don't want to do it. Okay. That's just me, whatever it may be. You can get a virtual assistant to do all the mundane details. They work for like $5, $6 an hour. You can hop on LinkedIn and look for virtual assistants. They are incredible. And a lot of them have sort of a field that they work in. So there's some virtual assistants that work primarily with realtors or real estate agents. You can search for that specifically, and you can find some really great options there. I just believe in taking your time back. You only have a certain amount of hours per day. So use it doing what is either going to create the most impact in your life or create the most joy. Don't spend your life doing things that 90 other people could do. Okay. And now, number 5, the final way that we are going to make sure that we're having the best year ever in 2025 is we're going to commit to evolving and investing in ourselves. We all have something that we really want to master, whether it be personal or professional. And the best way to learn is to learn from somebody who's already mastered the craft. I used to be so obsessed with music and I hated the news. I was younger, but now being in my early 40s, is 44, early 40s. I can't wait to learn as much as I can. So I actually shut off the music. I put on podcasts constantly. I just went to Florida for Christmas and I came back, and normally I'd be using all 7.5 hours of music, but I was listening to podcasts and YouTube audio the entire time. It was just like I just couldn't get enough of what I was trying to learn at that point. And there's so much free information out there as well. I mean, there's Audible books, podcasts, YouTube. The world is yours to level yourself up within. And if you want to be the best, you deserve to invest in yourself. There's also so many great workshops and courses out there. I think I've invested in maybe 4 or 5 in 2024. Each one has added so much ease and value to my life. And the investments, they always come back to me in the form of, it could be new leads, clients, a business strategy, or a skill set that helped me elevate to the next level so that I could attract more high value clients than I was able to do before. So it's always come back around. And some of these things are not expensive at all. Shameless plug here, I will say to anybody that is a new realtor, I have a course called Rookie to Rockstar. If you want to get on the wait list, I would go to the show notes now. It's basically a course that will help you launch. So I've been in the business for 19 years. And I have compiled what I consider to be the best of the best secrets and tips to absolutely explode your income. And even more so, you're going to skip the struggle along the way. I basically teach you everything that I wish I was taught when I first came up in real estate, but I had to take 5-10 years to learn. And a lot of it is focusing on the art of efficiency and the high impact activities that net real results. So if you are interested in it, I would definitely hit the link in the show notes to join the wait list because it did sell out pretty quick in December. So I am going to do another one. I believe I'm going to do it in February. So get on there and get on the wait list. But either way, guys, whatever it is, just make sure you invest in yourself this year. You have one life. You've got one life. Commit to becoming the best version of yourself that you absolutely can be. And that can also mean therapy, guys, or it can be an Audible book membership. I'm constantly learning and being motivated by these powerhouses. Last year, I went to the Aspire tour. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Instagram. Maybe it's cheesy for some of you. Maybe it's too, sis boom bob, but I love that shit. I love it. It was Kevin O'Leary from the Shark Tank. It was Sarah Blakely, all these super, super aspirational people that I wanted to learn from. And let me tell you, I learned a freaking lot going to that. So whatever it is, invest in yourself, guys. I will tell you, I just bought a $37 manifestation challenge by Gabby Bernstein because $37 for me to manifest with an expert every single day in the month of January so that I can try to bring in my best possible year in 2025, I'm in. Absolutely, I'm in. $37, I'm in. So I just believe in it because for me, that stuff works. I love to have, a coach just cheering me on and telling me what to do. I don't know everything. I don't pretend to know everything. And I can't wait to learn as much as I can so that I can be the best possible version of myself. And I believe that you deserve that as well. So that concludes our episode for today. I hope you got something out of this episode and that you're leaving feeling recharged and excited. and ready to do some of these exercises so that you can create your miracle mornings and create your ideal work weeks. I'd love to hear back from you. Shoot me a note on Instagram if any of this is resonating with you. And if you love this episode, I'd love for you to give me a review. That helps me so much in my business. Thank you so much, guys. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Have a great new year. Bye-bye.